Hello there, it's the 30th of August 2021 and you're watching Lunchtime News here on TV1. Bringing you the news this afternoon, I'm Mariam Gunujaya. Before we head on to our bulletin, let's take a look at your headlines this afternoon.
Sergeant Dinesh Priyantha takes gold for Sri Lanka at the 2020 Paralympics. A new COVID-19 variant identified in South Africa. Will not allow international pressure to be exerted on the country based on the April 21st attacks. A statement by Minister G.L. Peiris. Fire reported at the Kalpitia wind power plant.
In your top story this afternoon, Sri Lanka's Dinesh Priyantha won the first gold medal for Sri Lanka at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics after he set a new world record in the men's F46 javelin throw event.
India, Devendra Jajaria won silver while Sundar Singh Gurjar came in third. Dinesh Priyantha had previously won a bronze medal in the same event at the 2016 Paralympics. Dinesh Priyantha Herath was born in Kagama, Ipologama, Anuradhapura. He is the second born in a family with 3 children. Dinesh served in the Gajaba regiment and while on duty in 2008, he was handicapped in a terrorist attack in Kilinochchi in 2008. Even after giving so much for his motherland, his injuries did not deter him from fulfilling his mission of bringing honor and glory to our nation. Dinesh kept on engaging in his training in hope of one day showcasing his true potential to the world.
නම් පදක්කම වර්ල්ඩ් රෑන්ක් එකකුත් එක්කම ගන්නවා කියලා. ඉතින් මේ හිතේ බය තිබ්බා මේ අනිත් තරඟකාරයෝ ගොඩක් එයාත් එක්කම එකට ගිහිටපු නිසා ඒ වුණාට ඉතින් ගොඩක් සතුටුයි මේ මෙච්චර ලොකු බලාපොරොත්තු නැහැ මෙහෙම ලොකුවට.
The hope and dedication of Dinesh Priyantha brought honor and glory. Amazing achievement.
ඇත්තටම අපි මම අවුරුදු දෙක පමණ කාලයක්
I trained well for 2 years lodging at the ministry. The National Sports Council, the Paralympic Committee and the Minister of Sports allowed us to engage in training even during the COVID-19 pandemic. During training sessions, I told my coach that my ambition is to win the gold medal and set a new world record. I won the bronze medal in the event at the 2016 Paralympics. I am extremely happy that I managed to clinch the gold and set a new world record at this year's Games. I would like to specially mention the Sports Minister. He facilitated our endeavours and encouraged us to achieve this feat. I would like to thank my regiment, the Gajaba regiment, the commander of Sri Lanka Army and my wife as well. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has congratulated Dinesh Priyantha on achieving this magnificent feat. In a tweet, the president wrote, and I quote, "Your service in fighting for Sri Lanka as a soldier and putting us in the international sports map is remarkable," end quote. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa too had congratulated Dinesh Priyantha for his accomplishment. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa congratulated Dinesh Priyantha in a tweet. In his congratulatory message, the opposition leader wrote, I quote, "You made Mother Sri Lanka proud," end quote. Minister of Sports Namal Rajapaksa on Twitter dubbed this historic victory as a very proud moment for all Sri Lankans.
In another headline-making story this afternoon, according to the Jerusalem Post, a new COVID-19 variant has been detected in South Africa and a number of other countries. Now, according to the article published on the website, this new variant has been identified as the most mutated variant of COVID-19.
Based on a new preprint study by South Africa's National Institute for Communicable Diseases and the KwaZulu Natal Research Innovation and Sequencing Platform, the new variant named as C.1.2 could be more infectious and evade vaccines. The study is awaiting peer review. Scientists first detected C.1.2 in May 2021, finding that it was descended from C.1, which scientists found surprising, as C.1 had last been detected in January. While first detected in South Africa, C.1.2 has since been found in England, China, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mauritius, New Zealand, Portugal and Switzerland.
Another consignment of Pfizer vaccines arrived in the country today. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana said 124,020 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine purchased by the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation reached Sri Lanka this morning. In addition, 15,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccine is expected to reach the island today as well.
Another 192 COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. This brought the total number of COVID-19 deaths in Sri Lanka to 8,775. The Department of Government Information announced that the deaths were confirmed by the Director General of Health Services on the 28th of August. 156 of the deceased were above the age of 60. Another 4,612 COVID-19 infections were detected in the island yesterday. The total tally of COVID-19 infections in Sri Lanka stands at 426,169. Despite the quarantine curfew being in effect today, there was heavy traffic in Colombo and surrounding areas.
බස්නාහිර පළාතේ මායිම් ආවරණය වන පරිදි
13 roadblocks were placed yesterday. We have inspected 489 vehicles and 1,153 people who entered the Colombo municipality yesterday. We inspected 316 vehicles and 639 individuals who exited the Colombo municipality. 303 officials have been dispatched to look into any breach of quarantine regulations in the Western Province. They have inspected 5,082 vehicles and 8,257 individuals.
බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල රාජකාරී යොදවා වාහන 5082ක් සහ පුද්ගලයන් 8257 දෙනෙකු පරීක්ෂාවට ලක් කිරීමට කටයුතු කර.
US Ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Elena B. Teplitz, spoke to print media about the Port City law and Sri Lanka's need to go to the IMF.
The US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Elena B. Teplitz, speaking about the economic situation in Sri Lanka, said she'd like to see Sri Lanka attract high-quality investors and has expressed that view to Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa as well. The US envoy says the Sri Lankan economy is not in the best of health at the moment. She said it's very difficult times globally, and because of the pandemic, she believes that part of the solution is for Sri Lanka to utilize the resources presented by the International Monetary Fund or the IMF. The US envoy says that the government of Sri Lanka should create the best possible business environment to attract investment to Port City. In an interview with the Daily Mirror, the US envoy says the government of Sri Lanka must be careful of how the legislation or implementing regulations could leave doors open to poor practices or even illicit finance like money laundering and corruption. She has also highlighted the possibility of other things that could happen if the regulations don't meet the highest international standards. US Ambassador Elena B. Teplitz added that American firms who are by law forbidden from engaging in corrupt practices are going to be very careful if the environment isn't as clean as possible. She said that these are things that the government should be watchful of, and they should be looking to make sure that they aren't problematic and businesses won't be exposed to this kind of potentially bad environment.
Shifting your attention towards more local news, steps have been taken to bury the remains of organized criminal Muhammad Naufar, alias Potta Naufar, who died of COVID-19 while on death row in Ottamawadi, Batticaloa. Potta Naufar passed away while receiving treatment for COVID-19 at the Valikada Prison Hospital.
Mohammed Naufar alias Potta Naufar was sentenced to death over the murder of Judge Sarat Tambepitiya by a special High Court trial at Ba on the 4th of July 2005. He contracted COVID-19 while at the Busa prison and was transferred to the Valikada prison hospital for treatment. According to the police, the post-mortem examination was conducted last evening. The police added that a DNA test was also carried out on the body. Subsequently, the police and the Sri Lanka army took the remains of Potta Naufar to Batiklo.
In another headline-making story, a fire had erupted at a private wind power plant in Narakalya, Norachole. A wind turbine had caught fire at about 8:30 last night. A portion of the turbine had fallen down and the fire had begun to spread. According to the police, a technical failure at the wind power plant is suspected to be the cause of the fire. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, you can log on to our website, which is www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First team, I'm Mariam Gunavijaya. Thank you for watching. A very good day to you and take care.